I came to Thailand. I don't know a damn thing here. A villa is an expensive purchase.
We can come to an agreement.
I thought maybe someone was trying to scam me.
Jacked up the price by about 5 times.
The villa went up by $30,000.
That's not really acceptable for us.
Why the hell am I not living the life I've always dreamed of?
My wife just won't forgive me.
The purchase was spontaneous, but I'm very happy with it. Probably there are either very few like this or none at all. You sensed exactly what I needed. They are reliable people and they get things done.
Decided to meet up to record an interview, a review about how he's been living in his place. The villa, what impressions and emotions does he have, and what can he wish for future buyers? Some advice, or maybe things he didn't see coming.
Hello, everyone.
All right, let's start. What initially attracted you to the idea of buying property in Phuket, and what goals did you set for yourself?
Honestly, it was a pretty strange purchase in the sense that I hadn't planned to buy anything in Phuket. I was just living in a hotel, and then suddenly, well, I thought I could just rent a place with a view, and at first, remember, I wasn't even looking to buy. When I was looking for a rental, you and I started checking out one place, then another, then a third, all on the first day. You showed me what I liked really quickly. You sensed that there was no need to wait, and
that I needed to buy it.
You quickly showed me the option I had asked you for. Yeah, exactly. And then we came here and I was like, wow, this place fits about 85% of what I wanted. It matched the picture I had in my head, just how I wanted, and the price was good too. I think we even bargained a little bit there. And then I moved in here to live. And then as I was living here, I thought, hey, I could actually buy this villa, find out what the deal is. So we went to find out if it was for sale or not. And it turned out it was for sale, and we bargained for a long time. We got a good deal. Islam helped negotiate a $200,000 discount.
Yeah, that was awesome. It was a really good negotiation.
We got the best price last, so the purchase was spontaneous, but I'm really happy with it. I'm so happy that now I've moved in here into this villa. I used to live mostly in Russia, yeah. But now with the clear understanding that everything here is set up just the way I like it, I don't really want to go back to Russia. Just by contrast, I realize that I'm much better off here.
Yeah, totally. I remember when we first came to this villa, the first room you looked at, you immediately said something like, damn, this is a great villa. I'd buy it right away. And in 5 minutes, you realized you might actually buy it. Maybe this is just what you need. Let's go over it again from the very beginning. When you started looking, how did your search begin? Did you have a specific plan? Yeah, at first, or did you rely more on intuition?
All my purchases, whether it was a car, a house, or an apartment, were always like that. I come, I take a look, and if my heart skips a beat, if I feel it in my soul, then I know, oh, it's mine or it's not mine. We posted an ad on Facebook. Well, actually, my wife did. Or rather, we didn't post it, we found one. Yeah, you were searching? Yeah, we found it somewhere. My wife gave me your contact, and we got in touch. Before that, I had talked to some other guys and also with a different group. I looked at 2 villas with them as well, but the way they showed them was like this. I would come, they'd show me one villa, and that was it. Goodbye, and I'd leave. Then we met with you, and I thought you were only going to show me one villa too. The first one
Didn't really appeal to me.
Then we went to the second one, and the second one also didn't quite work for me. Then I adjusted my intentions a bit, and then the third and fourth villas really clicked for me. Now, all of this happened basically within half a day, and in the evening I already put down a deposit for the rental, and the next
day I moved in. That's usually how it always goes, you know? When you first start searching, you don't really know what you want. Yeah, exactly. I mean, we
can clearly see it.
Yeah. So you go to the first viewing with the client, you look around, and well, they don't like it. Then you start to understand what they didn't like, right? And you move forward from there. Basically, you and I went through all these stages quickly and briefly in just half a day.
It was super efficient.
And we found exactly what you needed. At what point did you feel like you might run into some difficulties during your search? And what were those difficulties?
The biggest obstacle for me was probably the fear in my own head. Even with something like this, we all get scared. A villa is an expensive purchase. I had never bought anything like that before. The very first thing I did was look at the law. And it turns out you actually can't own the land there, right? And the villa is on that land, and well, you can run a business there. I don't know if I can talk about all the details, but there were definitely worries about this.
Yes, all clients have this fear.
I'm absolutely sure that if I had spoken to some English-speaking person, they wouldn't have been able to explain to me that this is a safe and reliable deal.
Maybe you also wouldn't have had enough trust because of the language barrier.
Here, I don't know. I feel like I can read people. The first time I thought, he's a calm guy, reasonable, down to earth. You can see that you're not trying to push anything or sell me something, and you even went to negotiate before me. I thought, that's something I liked. That's on my side.
Yeah, and honestly, Dalila is great. I could see that you liked her. That's why you can always come to an agreement. You can always identify a point that mutually works for both you and the person selling the villa. And for us,
The price is super.
look, our next question is this. Were there moments when it seemed like finding the right option would be almost impossible? Well, I think that was more at the beginning, not with us, but with other agents.
Someone worked with me through a translator. Yes, I can tell who I won't be able to work with.
With a Thai agent. They
Started attacking each other, saying things as if I had just been added to the chat. So I started going around looking, and after leaving you, I didn't feel comfortable and began working with others. There was an understanding that they weren't communicating with me through a translator. That was the barrier. And they can't understand that.
Did you ever have a moment when you thought, damn, this isn't going to work out? Doesn't it seem like these
Moments that I made the decision that I want to live in a villa. From the time they were in the hotel to the moment we moved into this villa, 2 days passed.
you didn't even have time to fully
I woke up thinking, why the hell wasn't I living the life I dreamed of? I dreamed of living in a villa. And then bam, 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 with intention, we posted a question on Facebook and found you. You were the third, your agency was the third one. We went, and on the same day, we found everything.
definitely. You know what else was the coolest thing? The fact that we rented it. I lived here for a month. Every day, every month, I realized that I really liked the villa. It's one thing when you just buy it and then you run into all sorts of issues. But here I lived for a whole month. And on that day, my wife and I just went outside together. We talk, drink tea, listen, and just appreciate it all. I like it on the second day. I like it after 2 weeks. I never get tired of sending videos. So yes, that's it. I watch these videos and it seems like you're sending them to me. I'm grateful for this, and I really feel like it's all just like the very first day.
I never get tired of it. Well, I watch the sunset every evening. Sometimes, we take a nap with the kids in the afternoon. I try to wake up at 5 or 5:30 so I don't miss it.
We have a question. How did you find out about our agency, property, and what caught your attention? I think it's more about what set us apart from other agents, from other agencies. What made you decide, like, okay, that's it, we're going to work with these guys?
I just felt, I guess, that I had my own connection established. You communicated calmly, simply, kind of businesslike, but also very human. You had a plan, you had a lot of villas, and you didn't just say, like, let's go. Right after lunch, we arrive in 2 hours, and then we go to see another villa. And you just took me to a villa, then boom, the next villa, then boom, the next villa. We actually mapped out a route, which saved me time. And I really liked that. I realized you guys are awesome.
Yes, that's important because we try to do that too, since it's not great when you're working with clients who are investing in real estate, who are looking for luxury, expensive properties. We're all busy. I'm busy. You're busy. It's really not cool when we schedule one meeting at 10 a.m., then another at 2 p.m. And in addition, sometimes our clients have meetings with other agencies in between those times, so it turns into such a confusing mess. It's just honestly crazy. What was your impression? What was your impression when you first met our team? And what stood out to you the most? So, as you said, what stood out was what I said.
I really liked that you and I have a connection when we speak in Russian. It's something special because it means we can understand each other in another language, which is not our native tongue. This ability to communicate in Russian brings us closer and makes our conversations more meaningful and personal. At the same time, your wife, Nataya, understands everything perfectly in Thai. She grew up here in Thailand, so she is very familiar with the local culture, the customs, and the way things work in this country. Because she was raised here, she knows exactly what the lawyers are like, how the legal system operates, and how everything is set up. Her experience gives her a clear understanding of how things function here, and she is able to grasp all the details and nuances that might be difficult for someone who is not from here to understand. And she easily made contact with the people who were selling the villa. There were no issues there either. There weren't any barriers or anything like that. We all became friends right away, together with the sellers. Are you two a kind of duo? So in your team, you have both a local from Thailand and you who speaks Russian?
We divided the responsibilities this way because it's much easier for Chinese people to understand Thais. It's the same as how people communicate with you and me back home. So finding common ground when dealing with developers and often even with property owners is much easier. For example, if they can speak directly and offer a discount, in our case, yes, then both the client side and the property owner or developer get the maximum benefit, not just trying to translate something through an interpreter or anything like that. Otherwise, there will always be this kind of mistrust or misunderstanding, which can later turn into some difficulties. That's why we try to do it this way.
So the cooperation is well established.
We managed to build a genuinely friendly and supportive relationship after this.
Ruslan and I really developed a good relationship because when I came to Thailand, I didn't know a damn thing here, nothing at all. I didn't know anything here. And I had nothing, no documents, no bank accounts, nothing at all. I just arrived, and I could only stay here for 3 months. And Ruslan helped me set up a bank account, get a bank card, and figure out everything with car rentals. He explained everything, basically, with any question I had. Honestly, I realized he was like my personal assistant. Yeah. He handled all my questions and never once brushed me off or said, Nikita, listen, figure it out yourself. You helped me with everything, and that's really nice.
Yeah, I remember telling you once that when I first came to Thailand, I also had a friend like that who helped me with everything, explained everything, and showed me around. And now, every time I help clients, I feel like I'm paying tribute to him. Right? Now we've moved to the sunset, and we'll continue here. Has your perception of the real estate buying process changed after you started working with us?
Well, yes, I realized that reliable people make the difference, those who work in your best interest. Now, I know that everything depends on the people you work with.
In fact, having the right team and agency is extremely important because honestly, if you were to figure it all out on your own, if you had done it yourself,
If I had bought it, I wouldn't have believed it. I would have thought that something could still go wrong somewhere.
and if you try to handle all these issues yourself, like the paperwork, the communication, and so on, it's all very, very complicated.
I like that we double checked everything, even things I hadn't noticed myself. And when we flew the drone over the villa, we looked at the seams, checked everything. It was really cool.
Yes, because when buying a secondary property, it's important, even if your villa is basically new, built just 6 months ago, it's still crucial to make sure how it was constructed, whether all the components are in order, like the foundation, the electrical system, and so on. There were some issues which were all fixed, and it's good that we found them before the deal was finalized.
It seems like a small thing, but they did it anyway, and it really did.
Nice. Yes. The next question is, what do you remember from our first meeting or the first stages of interaction with you?
Well, what really stuck with me was your modesty. It's cool. You're a guy who doesn't show off, doesn't try to put on airs or pretend you can do something you can't or whatever. Well, basically, that's probably what I remembered. It struck a chord with me. Cool. You're my kind of person, you know.
Yeah, I didn't say anything. We'll sort everything out. How did our team help you get your bearings and make a decision about choosing a villa? Was it a difficult decision for you?
You guys just explained everything to me, told me about everything, and at every stage I understood what I liked. I already live here now. For example, you told me about things, and I checked all that online myself.
Everything.
It all matched up, everything checked out. I was like, yeah, everything's right, everything's clear, and that's what I liked.
When you're buying property abroad, I think you told me your story about Turkey, right? You got scammed for 30,000 there. So after that, I started double checking everything. Yeah, because there are a lot of hidden pitfalls like that. I think every market has its own nuances that you need to verify. So we try to break down every stage of working with a client and explain it as simply as if we were talking to children.
Everything went smoothly, really seamlessly. I liked it.
Did any of our additional services like visa support or help with parental rights come as a surprise bonus for you? Because as it turns out, we can help with those things too. Yes, it did.
Yes, because I arrived and didn't bring my driver's license with me, so I kept getting fined by the police. They were kind, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when you suggested that I could get my license for a reasonable price and that it was all possible, and you told me who to contact and mapped out the whole process, that was really nice.
There are a lot of services that agencies don't always offer to clients. Not everyone even mentions that they can do these things. But, we try to work as on a one-stop shop principle.
At every stage, I knew I could always turn to you. You could ask your wife, she'd call, and then I could work things out with you in Thai. Well, again, everything. This goes back to the first question that I chose the right company, the right people, where two people can sort everything out between themselves.
How was it working with our team throughout the entire transaction process?
I feel like we're still working together, actually. You keep helping out, even now, as we're buying a car here. You're still helping. Yes, basically.
Let's do this. We should record this question again in a year, but we're still working together. Job.
It works comfortably. The work from the moment at each stage I understood that you are not trying to foist this villa off, but you are trying to check. If there really is any nuance, then you are very clear. Well, for example, yes, we know that there will be construction below. Villa, the contract stipulated that the roof of this villa should not be higher than the lower level of my windows. Who else went for this? I went and made an agreement with the mains. We have an agreement that they do not have the right to build an outlandish foreign appearance. This is really cool, really cool.
Yes, we try to take all these moments into account because, damn, it's important.
You went, found lawyers, and they worded everything correctly.
It's convenient to have trusted people because, there are a lot of them here. Remember when we started looking together back in the day? I showed you that there are different lawyers, meaning you don't have to use our lawyer, you can use online lawyers, but they quoted you a price about 5 times higher than what our lawyer said.
And that lawyer was Russian speaking, while yours was a Thai who lives here and really knows the place. The market, he came from somewhere and in 3 or 4 years more or less figured it out.
Here, it's really important to have good contractors because unfortunately, Thais, sometimes just let things slide or don't pay attention to certain details due to lack of experience. That's what matters. It's hard to find a Thai person you need to trust and actually can trust. You know what I mean? That's why you have to be very careful with them and choose the right contractors.
I know you probably don't have this kind of question, but I just wanted to say thank you because when I went back to Russia, my wife was giving birth. And while I was there, Ruslan, you found tenants for the villa here and rented everything out. You came here, not rented, but arrived, set up a room for the nanny, called in the workers. You negotiated the price with them and oversaw the whole process. I'm just really grateful to you. We have
An option where we manage your property for you. Is that what I told you? I mentioned this at the very beginning. Let me explain for those watching us. What do you get when you buy with us? Real estate, if you want to rent it out later or resell it. Accordingly, we help you with that as well.
I think it's just that with your right approach, word of mouth will catch up with you.
Can you recall the moment when you realized you trusted us, when you were ready to move forward together?
That moment was when I double checked everything, you know? Everything that I verified. It turned out that you always found the most favorable terms and spoke just like he did. And, well, you weren't trying to make extra money on every transaction or add on some additional amount. So that's what I liked. I realized you weren't trying to scam me, and we started.
There's always the temptation to tack on extra charges, for various services. Yeah, of course, for all sorts of partner services.
Which in principle is kind of considered normal in our field. Yeah. There was no need for that. It was convenient as it was.
For us, that's not really acceptable because I believe we work in the luxury real estate segment. That is, we work with clients who are already willing to invest quite a lot of money in their lifestyle. They're ready to spend money on themselves, on their lives, buying properties either for personal use or as investments. We receive a reasonable and decent reward for this work. So I honestly think it's petty to nickel and dime here and there. The impression,
Maybe.
of course. For us, the level of trust our clients have in us is much more important than earning an extra 1% here or there. There's really no point in that at all. What key factors helped you feel confident in your decision to buy?
The simplest thing is that the villa increased in price by $300,000. That's the most important factor. I just know that 6 months ago I invested $1 million and today it has turned into $1,300,000. Not theoretically, but there was a specific person who said, I'm ready right now. I know that it's appreciating, and that's a key factor for me.
It's a good purchase. You have a good neighborhood. Yes.
And you explained the neighborhood to me really well, how everything works here, how it's all developing, and the developers want to build more. I understand that this villa will appreciate even more. I don't want to sell it, among other things. I still don't want to sell it.
Yeah, it's still too early, In a couple of years, when everything is built up here, its price might even double. Yes, because right now, land here is very limited in this area.
And the view is awesome, too. It's just such a view. I'm still in love with it. It's very beautiful.
There are more villas on the slopes. That's a very limited option, I would say. In fact, you really do not have many choices available here, I must admit.
You're a lucky person, actually. I just instantly pulled you in, apparently, to myself.
And if, for example, with other agents, did you ever feel at any point that they truly and sincerely wanted to help you? In your experience,
like, when I came to look at a villa and they were kind of like, I said I didn't really like it that much. Like, yeah, it's cool. I don't really like it that much. They try to tell me, yeah, look, there's a room over there. You can do something with it, finish it up, it'll be great. And they're basically trying to upsell me. And I could feel and understand that I didn't want to work with them.
that doesn't help. It actually pushes you away from the person. We understand that a lot of properties might not be suitable. And the main point of all our property viewings, when we drive around, meet with developers, and talk to different projects, is so that you can form a picture in your mind of the ideal option you need. In other words, so we can also form that option for ourselves through these kinds of iterations. Adjustments, like when you say, this is cool, but the bedrooms are kind of small. We're like, okay, got it. We need bigger bedrooms. Then, we'd like to have some kind of view. And that's how, step by step, we ended up at this villa where we're sitting right now.
Yeah, I remember that moment. We kept looking and looking, and I kept saying, this isn't quite it, this isn't quite it. And then Dvorzhna goes, but there's that cute place, the one that woman owns. So look, oh, that's the one, let's go.
You know, everything just lined up. We just found this property, and then you came back to us, and we were like, that's it. That's exactly what we need. How would you rate your experience working with us?
I'd say that on the market, there's either very little of this or it doesn't exist at all. Because when you build this kind of connection, you know, friendly and selfless, just like that, that's really valuable. If we're talking about a 10-point scale, it's definitely a 10. I don't know if I was able to help you in any way during this time, but if you ever have a request, I'll always help right away.
I asked you to describe your interview experience. It really helps me that you can share our story, our experience with other people, how it all happened between us, how it all came together. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Look, we have one last question. What would you say to those who are considering buying property in Phuket or maybe in Thailand in general? What advice or guidance could you give to people?
Dear friends who want to buy property, I highly recommend Ruslan and his wife because they know the business very well. They know the market, they know all the projects, what's being developed, what's being built, which area will grow and develop. I didn't even have a big investment request, but Ruslan immediately said that this villa would appreciate, that it would do well there, that this place is good, and that it's better not to buy in that other place. He told me very clearly, and in fact, after 6 months, the villa increased in value by 300,000. That's why I want to say thank you to Ruslan, and I also recommend that you reach out to Ruslan and his company.
Thank you, Nikita. I hope this was helpful for you guys. From what Nikita and I discussed, you can notice a lot of things. What matters is choosing the right company, because it's not about one company being better or worse than another, it's about the people. Some people might just want to make money off you, while others genuinely do it from the heart because they enjoy it. They really want to help. They truly want to help. Just like at the very beginning, when I arrived in Thailand, when people simply helped me, this isn't about real estate. These are just life stories. And here I am, working in this business, working in real estate. I know the market very well. We understand it perfectly. And beyond that, beyond the market, we understand other aspects that are important for life. Buying a car. Right now, we're helping Nikita buy a car. And also with things like getting a visa and opening a bank account. Yes, so there are a lot of advantages that come from dealing with the right people. You could just buy real estate and no one would tell you anything or give you any advice. Thank you to Nikita for sharing his story and his experience, and our story with him isn't over yet. We're happy that Nikita invested his money wisely and put his trust in us. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it.